on some things, and um, it just popped in my mind. So I was like, let me go ahead and say it. Yes, it's very hot where I'm at, so I'm a little glycerin, but I'm actually doing some work. Okay, but I need to take a quick break, and this message popped to me, so I said, let me do this. So this message is for our millennials, our Gen Z, our Gen Alpha. You're in the age of information. Okay, and it's quick in the age of information to get confused and get very much off track, especially if you're in a country where the messaging and the propaganda is to train your subconscious. Okay, and I'm realizing the messaging that I'm seeing right now, I'm like, oh, the Matrix got them a little bit, some of y'all. Now I'm not on TikTok because I just don't, that I could tell that is like really slowing down your ability to process information. Is also slowing down your ability to think for yourself. Is also making you have a little anxiety, and also causes you to not be able to um, have an attention span. So it's like really lowering all those things, but that is always intentional, etc. So when you, all three generations that are younger than us, I'm Gen X, okay, you have got to begin to understand that programming is always at work. Regardless if you think, oh, that's my friend, it's safe, it's this, it's teaching me this, it's teaching me that. Always remember, programming is always at work. Even as you receive this message, make sure you filter it through your own self understanding, your own self knowledge, your own being, your own mind. Okay? This is very important. So whenever you watch this message, you may not see this for 20 years from now. You may not see this for 10 years from now, 5 years from now, from 2 years from now. I don't know. But I can tell that you guys are getting caught up. Okay? And that's fine, because we all do. All the generations have been through it. All of us then had our caught up moments. All of us then had to grow and this, that, and other. This is a message coming from a gentle elder. First off, your objective is to reach old age. So don't, like, try not to be like, oh, they're old, forget it, this, that, and other. That is your objective in life. They're saying something to you about old age and constantly sending that message that you're old at 40, you're old at 50, you're old at 60. Not quite sure what that program is being put in for, and I have no idea why that is. But be careful about speaking your life away. Okay? That's number one. You're in the age of information, so you're taking in so much. It's going to confuse you. That's all intentional, but you got to learn how to start filtering it through. So that'd be number one. Number two, as you see certain messages begin to rise to the top, like if it's a certain message, if it's about a celeb, if it's about a certain like men versus women thing, if it's, nobody's having family reunions, whatever it may be, we're not controlling the algorithm. So it's a reason why that message is being sent out. There's always a behind the scenes reason. So you have to begin to filter those even more, especially when you see they go viral. Because we're not determining what goes viral. They'll tell you it's based off of the algorithms, based off of what people like, listen. No, they're controlling it always. So remember that. So like the messages that are really going to make sure you shift, make sure you change, the things that you really need to hear will never go viral. Especially if it works against what they need the programming to do. So this is why you always got to filter, you got to dig. Okay? Remember that. That involves everything. You got to dig beyond what you're seeing, what you're hearing. You got to pay attention to what is in the reality. Don't get so lost in social media, so lost in TikTok, so lost in what they're telling you to think, etc. that you forget your own reality. You forget what your reality was. That you begin to think, oh, this happened to me, and it actually did not happen to you. But because you're so entrenched in it, about time you watch 5 to 10 videos, that becomes your reality. So you have to be aware of that. Okay. Let's get that out the way. Now we get into the elder thing, the older generations. You're seeing like, okay, it may feel like, oh, it is. I see this a lot, and I know, and I hear it a lot because I talk to a lot of young people, not Gen Z as much, but millennials definitely. You guys are definitely in this zone right now. I'm gonna talk about what each generation is here to do, so you guys can kind of start really understanding your purpose here. So Gen Z, they understand, like, we're here to build a new, like, I'm talking to them, they're like, I'm going to create this new job once I get out of college. Is it like, if you tell them, it's a whole different conversation. Like, I get, they understand for the most part their mission. Yes, we have, I hate that we made that go viral, the YNs and this, that, and other, but they have a purpose too. Okay, they just got lost a little bit in the matrix because the music and the gaming and the social media and this and other. And that's where the older generations had to begin to understand, like, we did not filter out the matrix enough. We didn't fight enough to filter out. We got stuck a lot in survival mode. And I understand, I can't say this because then my job will get threatened. I can't do this because then I gotta do this. So we didn't understand that. So they have to come in and begin to do their jobs because we didn't do some parts. Okay, and every generation has a part they had to do to get the next generation to even live and come in to do the work they had to do. So that's the thing that we forget a lot about when we talk about when the older generation is looking down on the younger generation, the younger generation is looking down on the older generation. Like, it's too much of that going on. And remember, for us melanated folks, black people, it is always a constant message to divide us. And so if you're too caught up in the matrix, you're going to get that message and you're going to start dividing, like, your families, this, that, and other. I am not talking about toxic stuff. I'm not talking about people who refuse to heal. I'm not talking about people who are abusive. We're not talking about things. I'm talking about natural, healthy, normal stuff. Things are not going to be perfect. You're going to have arguments. You're going to have disagreements. You may not see eye to eye. As long as it don't becomes abusive and it's not a chain, it's a difference between toxic and normal. You guys have to begin to understand that, because sometimes what I see, things that are normal, y'all begin to say are toxic because somebody disagrees with you. Things that are normally going to happen because you are two different people, whether it's parent, child, parent, parent to parent, wife, husband, friend to friend, y'all are quick to say this is toxic because the person don't agree with me. No, that is a normal. You guys are two different people. You're not going to always see eye to eye. You have to learn how to have conversations, to work through things, the tough things, the good things, the bad things. Life is a journey. It's not always good, so you have to begin to understand that. If you have a normal family dynamic that is not toxic, there's no reason for you to be on that train. I didn't say perfect. I said normal. Don't get caught up in somebody else's train and somebody else's thing and somebody else telling you this is how it should have been, this is how it should have been, this and another. Most people that are on the internet that are complaining, they are in their trauma, they are not healed, and they can always attract more people. And so they're attracting that same frequency into their stream. That's why it seems like, oh, those are the most messages you see, because in the U.S. especially, it is breed off of negativity. That's why I keep talking about the frequency and the foundation of the U.S. It is something about making sure that frequency of negativity and destruction and stuff is constantly out there, that somehow is energizing whatever this thing is. I don't know what that is, but it's very clear to me. That's why other countries have a different frequency. That's why their messaging is not the same. So if you're in this frequency, you have to begin to really attune yourself and truly make sure you are filtering out the messages you are getting. This is very important. You can't allow the cracks to continue, because we all have missions we have to do right now. This is why this message is critical for millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. You came in with a level to disrespect or question authority for a reason. A lot of elders, like, you're just disrespecting because you're questioning. You're not even questioning them. You're questioning the systems. You're questioning the structures. You're questioning, why do I work 40 hours and still can't live? You're questioning, why can't I work why do I have to work 2 jobs? Why do I have to work 80 hours to live? You're questioning that for a reason. You came in with that energy because you're supposed to question it. And some people take that as disrespect. Some people take that as they don't want to work, not realizing that, no, that structure has to fall. That can no longer be the structure, because in their world, AI is truly a thing. AI is going to have plenty of the jobs. They have to question it, because they have to reimagine the world that they're going to be working in now. That's the thing that you have to, like, us elders have to begin to understand. So they have to question it, and they're supposed to, because they are the builders. When I get into what their energy is, you're going to see why I say this. It can no longer be like it is. So when for us who are elder and older, and we remember how we grew up and how things were, we're locking into it. So when somebody questions it, we think, oh, it's disrespect. Oh, they don't want to work. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. No, it's not that. Their world is going to be so different than ours. We can't even, all we can do is open the door and try to help them navigate through it, and tell them to keep questioning. But where they get lost in the matrix, or get lost in the sauce, is the disrespect starts to happen instead of reverence. And so you got to remember that millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, it's more reverence than respect. Because the reason why you have to reverence those before you, because that means they walked the path to make sure you could come in, whether you are connected to them or not. Maybe they got maybe they got lost, because you guys get lost too. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Maybe they got lost in what they had to deal with, whatever that may be. Everybody had a path to walk. Some people had to walk through slavery. Some had to walk through Jim Crow. Some of them had to walk through what is it? The I can't think of it, when they did the contracts for the land and then sold the land and all this and that. You know, the bombing of the towns. For you to be alive and walking today, you have to pay reverence to the lineage before you, because if they did not walk that and they didn't survive with whatever they had to go through for that, you would not be here to do the changes you had to do today. The reason why you feel like, oh, I didn't learn this, that, and other. Have you ever thought you wasn't supposed to learn the old system because you got to build the new? That may not have dawned on you. That's why this message is for millennials, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha. So, millennials, we're going to get into your energy. Think reverence and not so much respect, because the authority that is out, yes, you are going to have to question in order for you to build anew, because they're going to want to keep things as it is, because that's control. They're not going to let you want to move to sovereignty. They're not going to want you to build outside the structure, but you have to. Okay? So let's get into it. Millennials, you are Pluto and Scorpio generation. Okay? Everybody knows they sun sign, this, that, and other, etc. But you got to start learning beyond your sun sign now. Every generation has a Pluto sign that ruled their generation. That is how they named the generation. When we were in the Pisces age, everybody just knew their sun sign, and they knew they named the generations. You heard baby boomers, you heard Gen X, you heard Gen Z, this, that, and other, but no one has tied it to what you're supposed to tie it to, which is the structure that everybody's under, whether you agree with the structure or not. That's the only reason why they named it. They gave you a 3D name so you wouldn't realize the back end name. That's all they did. That's all they're doing all the time. Okay? So you got to tap in so you can understand what you're dealing with. Millennials, you are Pluto and Scorpio. That means all y'all walking around with Scorpio energy. Because that's just your energy for those born between 1983 and 1996. You are the healers. You are the shadow workers. You are here to burn down what is not working. But you also can get lost in the same way. You get lost in the toxicity. You can get lost in the shadow work. You can become those who are addicted. You can become very depressed. You can become very manipulative. It's a lot of different things you can do. But you're supposed to use that energy to make sure you shift things so that things can change. But it's easy to get lost too. Think about your friends. Think about the people that surround you. I guarantee you probably could be like, yeah, they're there. The good energy you have can also be the opposite. It's always yin yang. So remember that. But that's really what your purpose is. I always say you guys are more like baby boomers than what you realize, because a lot of y'all came in and just fell in line, to be honest. Y'all did create new things and new sayings and new this, but y'all did not complete the changeover of the work structure yet. But I think it's coming. Okay? Gen Z. You're Pluto in Sagittarius. You're the seekers, the liberators. You're the ones that the new vision for everything. You're the global citizens. Sagittarius, honey, is that energy. I'm going to pick up. I'm going to leave. I'm going to travel. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to do this. I don't see what y'all talking about. I don't see the blockages. But also remember, you got to learn how to ground yourself too, so that you don't get so lost in it and you don't end up doing the energy you're supposed to bring in. So you have to remember to stop and ground yourself. Take a moment to breathe. Say, hey, this is going to be my foundation for right now. Remember that, to pause in between that. This is for those that were born in 1995 through 2008. So 2008 to 2023. Now, Gen Z, I always say y'all my cousins, but that's because I got some Sag energy, some heavy Sag energy in my chart. I'll be like, I understand Gen Z. But I also understand Gen Alpha. Y'all is coming in here to wreck and handle the business. It's 2008 through 2023. Y'all are the ones where everybody's like, oh, the baby's been here before. The baby's been here before. You know why? Because they the Pluto and Capricorn generation. Capricorns are the old souls. They the foundation. They the structure. They were the government that was built for Pluto in, for the age of Pisces. Now they're going to be the government split for the age of Aquarius, but they're going to have to rebuild it totally different. They're the builders and the deconstructors and the new foundations. That's what they're here to do, y'all. That's why everybody's like, oh, the kids been here before, the new kids. That's why they moving fast. That's why they tell y'all don't eat that meat, eat the fruit. They telling you which veggies you supposed to be eating. They coming in with the prior knowledge. Y'all can tell, y'all see it. They walking faster, they speaking quicker. They doing things a whole lot more. They're not as emotional because they know they got to come in and clean up. They know that's going to be their job. They're going to have to rebuild. I understand that energy do too, because I got 3 planets in Capricorn. So I came in. And then with a lot of Gen X, we are here to be the ones that's kind of the in between, the able to transform, help to open the doors for the new and what needs to happen. That's us. We the transformers. We the original transformers, to be honest. Because we've been through the most change, the most shifts. And you notice they be like, what y'all over there doing? Y'all done been forgotten this. And I'm like, no, we ain't forgotten. We doing what we supposed to be doing. So that's my message to y'all, because I know it's a lot of information. You're in the age of information. You're getting everything. It's on purpose, and it's intentional too, to kind of confuse you as well. But it's good that you have access to so much information. Begin to filter it out, and then get tapped into what you're here to do. And don't be mad at generations before you, because honestly, if you're alive and you're able to tap in and do what you got to do, you got to pay reverence to it. And don't get so lost into what others' reality is. You take it on as your reality when it's not your reality, but you can still, hey, help them, wish them healing, wish them this, wish them that. But every soul has an important mission they have to complete for the whole. And as many souls who don't complete that mission, the harder it is for the other souls their own mission. That's why I'm starting to send these messages, y'all. Because, honey, I like ease. I don't like to be happening. I ain't into that overworking stuff. I know a lot of people like it. I don't. So, that was the message that came to me. I took a little break. Let me get back on what I got to do. Get recentered. Whenever y'all reach this message or see this message, whenever you hear it, remember, everybody is here to work together. Millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. Y'all all have a certain part that y'all playing. Even us, Gen X, baby boomers. Everybody has a certain part they's playing. See, a lot of you like, oh, baby boomers and teachers this, they not being true elders. Like, they can't be. I realized it like some years ago before I even understood astrology and started digging. I was like, oh, they can't be the elders because the stuff got to die with them. We ain't supposed to learn what they know. Y'all ain't think about it that way, did you? They caught me by surprise one day, and I was like, let me keep moving. The structure as it is does not work for the people. As simple as that. The majority of the people. That structure can no longer exist. It has to be rebuilt. It's always going to bust from the inside when it's not working for the majority of the people. Wherever the structure is, wherever you are in the world, that's just what's happening. You're going through a big shift and a big change. It has to also work for Earth. Which everybody forgot. This is the planet we on, y'all. You can't just destroy the Earth and think the planet ain't gonna respond. You know, and you always gonna have antagonists. You always gonna have the powers to be. You always gonna have the hidden systems, the hidden people, the hidden whatever. I mean, they always gonna be doing what they try to do too. Like, you know, as I said, try. So anyway, I hope this message reaches you. I hope you hear it. I hope you understand it. I hope you take it in and really hear what was said. Always remember, God is within you. I wish you wellness and alignment. I'll talk to you guys later.